Welcome to the Success Pick and Mix podcast. I'm your host, Nicky Raby, a professional pick and mixer. I'm a personal brand coach, a speaker, an actor, a creator, and a podcaster. I'm on a mission to help you find and create your version of success. Your pick and mix of life and business on your terms. A blend that complements your personality, your goals, and your circumstances. Since 2018, I've been sharing interviews and mini episodes to help you unlock your next step, to make it real and make it happen. Round here, we dream big. We go for the ideal version. We talk about money and make moves our future selves would be proud of. This podcast is free and available for you whenever you need it. So do rate, review, and subscribe for new episodes. If you want to go deeper with my support, check out my freebies house and unlock the rooms you choose. nickyraby.com/freebies house. I also have workshops, programs, and one-on-one bespoke offerings. For prices and availability, go to nickyraby.com. Thank you, as always, for spending some time with me and my guests. Now, on to today's episode. In today's episode, I'm talking to Rowena Cumner, who is the founder of Agent Engagement and also works at Moo. We've met several times at female entrepreneur events, women in business, and she's always such a friendly face to come across and have a really good chat about life and business. She's just one of those lovely people, you know. And in today's episode, we talk about lots of things of wearing different hats and having a full-time job and also a side hustle, if that's what you call it, but also that sense that you don't have to rush everything. You don't have to leave your long-term job and start something fresh and figure it out and be skinned and all of that sort of thing. There's an ease and a flow that you can bring to starting a business. So I know Rowena has some fantastic tips to share. So grab a piece of paper and a pen, and equally come over to Instagram at Nicky Raby and join in the conversation about the podcast episode. And you can find the show notes, nickyraby.com/podcast, and a little bit more about my one-to-one coaching and my online courses. It's all on my website, nickyraby.com. And finally, if you are loving the podcast, please do go and rate and review and subscribe to the channel on iTunes and all that good stuff. I would love it if you did and really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And here's the episode. Rowena, hi, how are you?
Hi, Nikki. It's so good to be here. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yes, really well. Well, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you. And yes, would you mind by just starting by telling us all what you do and what you love doing, what you're all about?
Cool. So I'm Rowena. I am Senior Marketing Manager at Moo, which is a print and design company. And I also have a little alter ego called Agent Engagement, whereby I, in secret, help people, mostly men, but some couples as well, to kind of navigate the engagement ring market, totally in secret, and help them kind of save time, hassle, and money when they're trying to buy a ring. And the best thing is that the partner never really finds out about me. So it's kind of a really fun little secret service, and so both of those things keep me quite busy.
Yes, I can imagine. And how cool to do secret things. I always enjoyed that element of being a kid, actually, and you know, those secret dens that parents wouldn't be able to find, or happy days. Well, we met several years ago, and the first thing that just struck me was obviously how lovely you are, but you've just have such a knack for building relationships and coming to business in whatever hat that you're wearing with such a sort of positive, and you are who you are. And I would love to know how that all began for you and how your sort of move into this journey in your business journey happened.
Oh, thank you so much for those kind words, because they mean a lot to me, and I never forget meeting you guys at the Female Entrepreneur Association. Was it the Christmas or the summer party?
I think it was the summer party, and I'd had Oscar about 6 months before, and I just couldn't quite believe that I was out in the world being a living, breathing human again by myself. It was very funny.
A brilliant night, wasn't it?
It was great.
I'm glad you came and to meet. So yeah, I mean, it's been quite a journey really to be able to get to that point. And I was thinking the other day, what kind of kicked it off? I've really always really enjoyed working in partnerships and marketing. So I started my career working for a furniture company. And then soon after that, I moved to London. So I was always working as like a marketing assistant, marketing executive when I graduated. And I just really got into partnerships. I was working for a children's furniture company called the Great Little Trading Company, which is a lovely company.
Yes, I know it. Yes.
Yeah, really lovely company. And so we had lots of great partnerships with lots of great mums, really, and kind of parenting-based businesses. And I thought, I really like this. I really like being one of the only people in the business that wasn't just stuck at my desk. I was kind of getting out and about, meeting loads of people, doing events, doing press stuff. I thought, I really enjoy this because every day is different.
Yes.
And so I did that. And then that was a long 5 years actually. And then just by chance, I got approached by a headhunter who said, look, I know you're not particularly into diamonds or kind of, flashy things, but there's this project in Hatton Garden to kind of help a diamond expert get online, and would you like to just go and meet him? So I actually went and did that, and it was totally kind of out of character for me to go into that world. And while I was doing that, it was quite a short project. Because I was the only person that a lot of my friends knew to be associated with kind of the diamond industry, they would come and ask me for help. And I just thought, oh my gosh, there's something here in that lots of people really need some advice when they're buying engagement rings.
Yes.
And I thought, but if you go into a shop, if you go into kind of like a jeweler's, they're only going to be able to sell you that one thing. And I thought, what if I could just be like this trusted little kind of person that people come to, and it not be my full-time job? I really love my full-time job and have big challenges there, but how could it be something that's really special on the side, and where I'm not chasing like a sales funnel, I'm just genuinely helping people? And I think that is possibly the one thing I've really enjoyed about my career so far. It's made up of lots of little bits of helping people, and that really satisfies me. And it also helps me, it kind of helps me have kind of a happy life, meet lots of people, be around a lot of energy, and that works for me. But I mean, it never really stops. It is full pelt, but it's good,
Yeah, that's such a great point about that. Sometimes I think whether we're running our own business or navigating different careers, we sometimes feel like we should be able to do everything, because often in the beginning we are wearing all of the hats to, we're an accountant, we're a digital marketer, we're a presenter, we're a pitcher, all of these things. And I think something like engagement rings, unless you're in the know, I mean, you always, without giving away too much personal information, but when people say, oh, my partner packed for me for a fortnight and he surprised me with a holiday. I mean, I just would be thinking like, I haven't got the right bra to go with that dress, and like I'm sure like it would be so terrifying for Matty to even consider that he just probably wouldn't even do it because it would be too much.
It's really scary, and I have so many girls actually come to me and they basically managed to slip my details to their partner, and then they have sent me the brief. But I have to pretend that that I haven't spoken to the girl. It's so funny.
And also the way that the wedding industry is, it's still sort of so set out on the princess and the man who saves you, but actually it's like, yeah, but it kind of needs to be right and be my style because it's going to be on my finger for the rest of my life, hopefully.
Exactly. It's such an important decision, and it's really easy to kind of waste so much money that you don't need to spend. And also, I think a lot of people who maybe aren't in the creative industries or in their kind of startup world or entrepreneurial world really have no idea that there's actually 5 different ways you can make an engagement ring. And they also don't know how you go about supporting a British designer maker. And actually, when you show them, okay, well, you have this picture in your head, but actually we can make that in one of kind of 3 or 4 ways. But if you go down this route, you can support a British designer maker or a British jeweler. People feel really empowered by that, and they think, I had no idea. And I think actually we're becoming, way more conscious about everything, what we're eating, doing, what we're buying, what we're spending our money on. And so, yeah, I think we're really lucky to have all this choice, and actually giving people the tools to make great decisions, I think is a good thing,
Definitely. How important have you found it to do something as, your other kind of string to your bow, something that you really enjoy and feel passionate about? Have there been things that you've experimented and played with a little while ago, previously, and then thought, oh, actually, this feels like way too much hard work?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, really. There's definitely always been lots of ideas, but I think this is actually the first business that I've really tried to set up myself. Definitely, I've had times where I could do this, maybe I can set up a portal. The other day I was thinking I could set up a business called Startup Ticket, where you have all the tools that I've built agent engagement with, or all the tools that matter to me in my life at Moo, into one place. But yet to do it, you need so much kind of money to drive traffic there. And I always think, you've got to really love that idea and be really, really passionate about it. And even though if it brings in no money for years and years, you can really kind of really work at it, and that idea be the first thing you think of in the morning, and the first thing the last thing when you go to sleep. I think it's really important that you have that real passion about something. So I think for me, agent engagement was one of the first things that I was like, okay, this is mine and I can build it. And it doesn't have to be fast. I can do it really slowly. Because I do think a lot of people put that pressure on themselves. Oh, I've got to be doing this amount of revenue or have this number of clients at this time. And you don't actually. You can build something really organically and slowly. And I think that's really important message.
And I sometimes think there's that ideal dream of, you just leave the 9 to 5 and you leave and you get a credit card and you just go for it. And it's like, actually, that's a really terrifying way of starting a business. And certainly before I made the jump, sort of in terms of really thinking, got to that point where I was reliant only on myself for my income, as in everything. I didn't have a set, consistent, instant income else. That actually I needed to do it in that way because I needed to give myself enough wiggle room to try things and to figure out what works. Because there's nothing more alluring than a desperate life coach.
Oh, this is the thing. And all these people that say, oh, yes. I did have quite a few friends who said to me, as I'm sure you did too, just do it. Yeah, just do it. And actually, I'm like you, I'm very practical about things. And I feel like actually it's not ever been possible for me to kind of just throw myself 100% into a project. And actually, sometimes I think that is the best thing, not to do that, to have kind of a well-rounded kind of approach to things. I'm sure you're the same. You were going to lots of networking events. You were really working out what are all the facets involved in being kind of a coach. And that's helped you massively. And it's really helped me too, just kind of think over the years, what are the tools that I need and the time that I need to build this in the right way?
And definitely, and I feel like everything has taken way longer than I thought. And one thing I hear from my clients all the time is that they're sort of looking for that quick fix, or that just, the 3 things that you need to do. And I think sometimes there's a lot of online marketing about it. Like, if you just do these 4 things, you'll have this revenue a month. And I think there's so many more components going into this and then working alongside your personality and circumstances as well.
Yes, definitely. And actually, I find that really interesting because I'm on the board of advisors of this lovely company called Mahara, who are kind of like a technical co-founder to startups and entrepreneurs. And they really take that time to kind of look at the business idea and actually partner in a unique way, instead of you necessarily as a founder and entrepreneur having to spend a lot of money on tech kind of initially. They really work with you on that. And I think that is a key thing, is to be able to really look at the idea, really gather the people around you, and really think, okay, how can we do this in a great way, and it be something kind of new, and
Yes.
innovative.
How do you, because I know sometimes like actually telling people about your business or reaching out or sort of pressing publish of, saying, right, actually I'm going to try and give this a go, or I'm going to get my first paying client. Sometimes actually sending that email can be really terrifying. What things have you sort of found have really worked for you in terms of building that network and getting your business and your profile known?
Yes, it's kind of funny because I feel the same as you. I felt really nervous about sending that first email when I was, trying to onboard jewelers when I didn't even have many clients yet. I had like 1 or 2 clients, and soon they would order and they wouldn't be a client anymore. And I actually just found that I was constantly testing, like you, at networking parties. People would say, what do you do? And I would just basically pretend that I did agent engagement full time. So I'd just be like, this is what I do. This is who I am. And the more I kind of said it, people were like, oh, wow. And they'd give me such good feedback. And I kind of got it into my head. No, I'm not a fraud. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I am. So, at the weekends when, you're at barbecue and there's lots of friends there or people that you don't know, I'd say, this is what I am. This is what I'm doing. It's just so powerful because it's so, I don't know if it's a stereotypical kind of female thing, but it's kind of quite easy to think, oh no, I don't really do that yet. That's not really my thing. I'm still just trying, but actually the more you kind of commit to yourself, no, this is my goal, this is what I am, and this is what I want to try to do, then I think you get so much more from it, it feels kind of nerve-wracking at first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I think, especially if it's a job description that perhaps hadn't been written when you were at school, sometimes you can get that sort of, especially maybe older generations, they give you that sort of eye roll of like, really? You're making money from doing that? Because I think also that comes from, they don't understand it. So perhaps they're not going to ask the questions that are relevant in terms of going forward and getting to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that if I'm talking to someone who really hasn't engaged in that service that you're offering, whether it's coaching, whether it's kind of agent engagement or any service you're offering, you can be really put off by people who are like, why would that person need you? Why, And actually, it's just so interesting because it really takes you back. You're like, but there's this whole need for the help or kind of what we're doing, and it's so kind of it's so energizing, and lots of people just really don't understand, and I think that's okay. Like my friend said to me the other day, not everyone wants to be a unicorn, not everyone wants to be like have a business that's really highly profitable, really, really successful. A lot of people want to just have really happy life, as happy as can be, put food on the table and just be fulfilled in what they do and help people. And it doesn't have to be a huge success.
Of course, and it has to be success in different ways. And, I find obviously you want to have consistent income and you want to, again, put food on the table and not be stressed about bills and things like that. But also I know that I need to get my energy by stepping back sometimes or having time away from the business. And this is the thing, actually, isn't it? If we were working for somebody else, or if I was working for somebody else, there would be a going home time. Whereas if you're running your own thing the whole time, there's always something to do. So you could work on it 24/7.
Definitely. That is a real kind of risk for kind of anyone with even, if you don't class yourself as an entrepreneur, even just anyone with an idea or something that they find really kind of, that they're passionate about, is it can totally consume you. And you have to find that thing that you can just step back and just, whether it's just get off your phone, get off your laptop, get it out of your head. What's yours, Nicky?
Well, I've really realised that I've had to set boundaries for myself because nobody else will. And so I almost have to have a bit of an alter ego who is a bit of a Miss Trunchbull type character who goes, no, put the phone down or stop now, or, you know, because otherwise, and I think as well, I'm such a pleaser sometimes that I will always try and do all of the things. And actually, if I'm not doing it from a place of feeling really topped up, I'm no use to anybody, certainly not myself. And also, if I don't allocate that time, it just, everything falls down, really.
It's really easy to feel depleted, I think. And for me, one of the things I love doing is just, whole portions of the weekend. If I haven't got any agent engagement clients, I just turn the phone off for the whole weekend and just try and just engage in real life, whether it's the washing up or, I don't know, painting something in the house. Just literally do something else that isn't digital. And I just call it my little digital detox. And I feel totally refreshed from that. And I think it's surprising how depleted we feel when we're constantly on call, you know?
Yes. Well, it's sort of, I was listening to a podcast earlier about a mum who had 3 daughters who were all in different continents. And she always has this thing, you know, as most parents will know, is that you're always available for your kids. And I kind of somehow thought that it would just be the toddler years that would be the tricky. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm going, oh, hang about, I'm nearly 37 and I love to phone my mum if I need something. And, you know, it's sort of, you have to have those boundaries in place. How do you wear the different hats throughout the day? And if you're speaking to lots of people face to face, how do you keep yourself feeling buoyant and enthusiastic? Even though probably you're naturally a positive person, I'm sure you have days where you're like, oh, not today. I don't really feel like it.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I'm like you, I get energy from other people. So if someone is passionate about something and wants to solve a problem, I find that really energizing. I have one day a week where I work from home, and I find that really refreshes me from a really like busy office life. I find that I can work from say 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and literally get all of those things done where I need to just get my head down and just need to be alone and think. And then that helps me on the other 4 days in the office to be that person where people can come to and chat and kind of work through ideas or work together and not feel too tired, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, definitely working from home. As we move on, I hope that becomes an option for more and more people in all lines of work, because I do think that actually it's a hugely kind of successful thing. And then in terms of how just day by day, I'm actually incredibly lucky with agent engagement because all of my clients, well, most of my clients are guys who actually never want to meet. They all just want to have a quick phone call and then a series of texts and emails, or don't even want to speak on the phone at all. They want to email me on their work email. Now I just answer in the evenings. And so actually I've managed to fit it in really, really well, and it's not all consuming. I actually feel like I only spend about 10 minutes a day on agent engagement, and actually that kind of works. But yeah, if it was any more, I think it would be a struggle. I'd have to kind of seriously think about how to manage it. But I think the energy comes from positive people, and if you don't surround yourself with those people, you can feel really down pretty quick, actually. Yeah.
I was going to say, has it really tested your marketing hat in terms of marketing a secret business? How, what sort of strategies have you used to be able to get the word out?
So it's been really funny because a lot of it has been friends of friends, kind of word of mouth. One of the most successful things lately has been working with barbers. So kind of recruiting barbershops as like basically secret agents, really. And so because it's kind of funny, these guys obviously go into a barbershop, they feel safe. They are safe. The women don't tend to be there and they kind of talk, you know. And so that's been really fun. I've got a friend, Daisy, who runs the proposers, and she helps people with the actual will you marry me bit. And so, you know, sometimes her guys need some help. Really, it's just been word of mouth and Moo cards. Like I use, you know, Moo business cards hugely. Everyone says, well, why do you need a business card? I'm like, it's actually my most successful tool because I'll sit next to a guy on a plane, we get talking, I pass him the agent engagement card, like without fail, within a few months, he's either introduced me to a friend or needs help himself. So for me, it's just all these little tools and just constantly having my head in, all of this.
It's so good, like sort of that sense of just really making it easy for somebody, because I've done a few talks recently, and sort of people have wanted to get in touch, and they've done that. Well, shall I DM you via Twitter? Oh, let me just add you on, and it's just long sometimes. And actually, you want to really maximise that speaking time that you have with somebody, rather than faffing around with personal details.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I'm quite lucky because none of these guys want to contact me via Facebook or any social media because they're so scared that it will track and so. So actually, I just put that call in the diary like straight away, and I just love all those Google tools. You can just literally like sync all the diaries, sync all the emails, sync the calendar, and just set that call up and speak to someone pretty quickly. But yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's funny how there can be like 10 different ways someone can contact you. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, totally. And sometimes I'm like, oh no, I haven't got back to that thing because it always tags in a comment, and yeah, it can be confusing. I was wondering actually how many of these wives-to-be may actually think that their husband is having an affair, and then suddenly their husband-to-be, and then suddenly it's like, no, I want to marry you. I've just been doing secret things.
It's really funny. What I always say to my guys, the first thing I say is, I will never call you unless you've told me to call exactly at that time. And then, if they aren't free, they just don't answer. Or in the scenario where the girl does answer, I've only had it once, I just pretend I'm the dentist.
Brilliant.
Dentist. And I just phone, and say, oh, just checking you're due for your checkup.
That would be so funny that if you carried it out and then you're like, oh my goodness, suddenly I'm doing root canal on somebody. I didn't mean to do that.
So funny. I once had to get a plane with someone that I'd actually worked for 6 months with, designing and making his engagement ring, or helping him do that. And then we went to a mutual friend's wedding, and we were at the airport departure lounge together. We did the whole wedding, and I had to pretend not to know him. I had a lunch with him the day before, because we just finished making the ring.
Oh my goodness, this is so cool.
It was really funny, and it really tested my skills, because I'm so natural at, if someone's walking by and I know them, like, hi, I have to really be an actress in a way. And that comes unnaturally to me. I'm always putting my foot in it. Like, so yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah.
Sometimes I've done those plays where they're sort of immersive plays where the audience come in, but the action is has started already. So they're walking into the environment. And sometimes my mum will be like, Are you doing it? And I'm just like, Mum, bugger off. What do you want? Have there been any books or, I don't know, talks or things that you've been to that have really sort of opened your eyes and made you sort of play on a bigger scale, I guess?
Yeah, there's a really interesting, quite recently founded club, probably only, I don't know, maybe a year or 18 months old, called the Step Up Club. Have you heard? Oh, yes, I did see you once.
Yes, I went to one of them. Yeah, it was really interesting.
Really interesting. Was that the one with Sarah Brown, who founded Pi Skincare?
It was, and that skincare was really lovely, because I am such a pale ginger person that I was just like, what, something that's not going to make me look like a tomato? Amazing.
So good, isn't it? I went to that with you, and I felt like, wow, I'm going to try the skincare. And actually, I use that face wash every day, because she developed it, hadn't she, to kind of be really good for kind of sensitive skin types.
Yes, yeah.
I found that talk fascinating, and I feel like the Step Up Club do a lot of amazing things like that. They started a Step Up school recently, and their book is quite good. There's lots of things. There's also podcasts. Like, I really am a big listener of podcasts. So How I Built This by Guy.
Yes, I love that one.
I love that one, because I feel like the key thing that comes out of that, I just listened to like the James Dyson one. It's just the years and years that it takes to build a company like that. I think it's so easy to think that these things are built overnight, and going back to that idea of, oh yeah, you can make 7 figures in a month. You just can't. It takes years and years and years to build up good things. And often entrepreneurs are penniless for a very long time.
Yes.
For a very long time, but they have the idea, and they know it, they believe in it, and they just really keep working to make it happen. So podcasts are great for me because I can listen to them if I'm cycling down a quiet kind of area. I can do that with it off the road. Also, Good Time to Be a Girl by Helen. Is it Helena Morrissey or Helen Morrissey?
Oh, I haven't heard it. I must read it.
Yeah, this is quite new. I think I've forgotten how many children she's got. Maybe it's 9, maybe it's 7.
Oh, wow.
She's amazing. I've just started that book, and it's just all about how, wow, we have now got all these tools to make being a mother and running a business and, having this real portfolio career or flexi time where you can use your time in different ways possible. So really kind of just showing people how others have done that.
Yes.
And all the tools that they use in life to be able to kind of wear all these hats in one go. Yeah, I really like stories and books, people and female entrepreneurs in particular, that kind of show that.
Well, it just brings that that sense of, oh, well, if they can do it and they look like me, or they've had a similar upbringing or similar education, whatever it might be, or they shop in the same shops, then it just kind of opens your mind a little bit. And I think sometimes we can feel perhaps a little bit stuck. I mean, I know my school weren't necessarily great at going, you can be anything you want, and all these opportunities. It was very much sort of play safe, keep going, and secure the 9-to-5 job. And, maybe because that was off the back of all the stuff in the 80s, maybe that was sort of the time. But now I just think, gosh, I'm trying to open my kid's eyes up to everything and different things that he likes doing. And not that I'm saying, like, you seem at 2.5 to really enjoy painting. How are you going to monetize that?
No, I just think I totally agree with you. I feel like now is such an interesting time. Even 5 years ago, I couldn't have had my Squarespace site at £12 a month.
No.
Like, and it'd be so easy for me to build as a non-techie person, And I just feel we have these tools now, and we have this kind of inclusion and diversity in businesses, big and small, which I hope spreads to many different industries and sectors.
Yes.
That gives you these opportunities, and you can do anything. I'll never forget, I went to a really lovely school. It was a really lovely girls' school in Oxford. And I'll never forget that I was kind of not that great at English. And, they were quite worried that I was going to get like a C at English. And I kind of felt at the time, well, let that be. But yet, one of the things I most enjoy doing now is writing. And I kind of like writing kind of like the copy behind agent engagement, or writing to people. I do think also a lot of people in business, especially women, are so happy to help younger women.
Yes.
Or anyone with an idea. And I find you can get 600 emails a day. I just feel like, wow, everyone is kind of inundated with emails, but I write to people. I use the postal service. I feel like I'm one of the last members of people that use the postal service as much to write letters, but I write probably about 20 letters a week to people who I really want to work with, or I really want to kind of tell agent engagement about. I just feel if you get so many emails, actually getting post is so lovely. I do it for me too. I write letters to people, and it always works.
Wow, that sounds amazing, and just I think that I've started leaving these voice notes for people, and actually people really love it as well. They're like, oh, I've been sitting on at my desk all day by myself, and it's that sort of element of surprise, isn't it? And I always love receiving your emails because I feel that they are who you are as well. And I think sometimes, especially as women, we can feel like to be a businesswoman, we have to be all nylon shoulder pads and a bit of a Miss Trunchbull character maybe. And we don't. You can bring your whole self to the table, and you can be all of those things that you are in normal life.
Yeah, definitely. I do think that is probably, not saying that I've found, success yet, but like as in, I feel that's the key to happiness, is
Yes.
just being yourself, finding something that you love, putting your best into it. I mean, we both work really hard. Everyone I know, especially on this podcast, is working really hard and really long hours, but it doesn't feel like you're working when you enjoy it.
Yes.
And find that thing is probably key, I think.
And that's a really good benchmark for me, that when I feel like it feels sticky or hard work or any of those, I'm just like, no, right, okay, what's not working? Or it does make me stop and reassess now. Whereas I think it took me a long time to get to that place, because otherwise I'd have just gone, no, I need to put some more energy into it or more hours, because that's why it's not working. I just need to work harder. And now for me, it's much more about simplifying things and stepping back and being reflective.
Definitely. And trusting your gut, I think, is a huge thing. You know when something isn't quite right. And I think it's really easy, especially in my kind of younger years or in my younger career, because if someone's saying it in higher up management, or kind of saying, oh, let's do this, and you know it's just not going to work, because at the end of the day, you've got to, pull it off, or you've got to make it work, and you just know. And having that confidence, which you only really get with more and more experience, saying, actually, I think we should try it this other way, or even to yourself, kind of thinking, oh, I should do this, I should do that. Well, actually, I'm just going to keep going at the things I really think are going to work, and just be slow about building them,
Yes, yeah. And I think sometimes that rush to do all of the things, you don't have to do. We've got time, and I certainly hope to have a career that spans long, and that will, hopefully I'll be healthy way into my, I don't know, I'm not going to say, but yeah, we'll see. Sort of, I don't feel like, oh, I'll just do this till I'm 40 and then that's it, or I'll do it till next year until something else comes along. I want to keep blending. In terms of you going forward, where would you like to be in 5 years' time?
I think, for me, it's not necessarily like a title or kind of a location. It's kind of like a mindset of, I really enjoy kind of helping other people. I really enjoy working, especially with women entrepreneurs who've got good ideas but have no clue about which steps are next. I really enjoy working on lots of different things. I don't think I'll ever kind of be on one project full time. Well, let's see. I hope that I'm at Moo doing well, building agent engagement and doing more things and being involved in more and more projects. I think this is just a really exciting time where you can, my experience at Mahara, you can go and sit on a board of advisors in a room full of people that you would never normally cross in your day-to-day working environment, and actually have something to give and have something to offer, which is gratefully received. I think trying to do lots of things in different sectors and different industries it kind of works for me, and so that's where I'd like to be.
Wonderful. Oh, watch this space. And if there are any men that are thinking, or women going, actually, I feel like it's maybe now the time, what's your website? Where should people go?
Oh, it's agentengagement.co.uk.
Oh, fantastic. And do you use Rowena, or have you got a secret? Do you tell people your name even?
Yeah,
I've just told them.
I do, because I think some people are scared otherwise. I think, I always know that when a guy is going to email, because I can see them looking at me on LinkedIn, or, I can see who is this person? Yeah, I think you've got to have
so funny.
Yeah, I think in a lot of business as well, you need that real person behind it to kind of trust it as well.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And to kind of know that the service that you're offering is what you're offering. Just kind of going, oh my goodness, I've ended up on a weird Google search here. How did this happen?
Exactly. That's what I think is just so key for marketing, is that people believe it's real.
Yeah, and also that sense of, if it's you, then, adding your own personality and that personal touch into it is so key, because I think sometimes we can feel like we should stand behind this big company, and actually people want you, really, and people want to feel safe and looked after and all those good things.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to the phrase, not everyone wants to be a unicorn, I think that's really, really true.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I've loved chatting, and hopefully I'll get to see you soon.
Thanks, Nicky, so much.
Take care. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you haven't already, feel free to rate, review, and subscribe for all the brand new episodes. If you want to go deeper with my support, check out my freebies house and unlock the rooms you choose. nickyraby.com/freebies house. I also have workshops, programs, and one-on-one bespoke offerings. For prices, availability, or just to have a chat with me, go to nickyraby.com. Thank you, as always, for spending some time with me and my guests, and I'll see you next time.